Puck ends up behind the Wichita Falls net. Reisinger trying to clear. Kept in there by Kressel. Jarred free. Picked up by Joey Sardina. Kressel advanced it for Sardina. Intercepted by Reisinger, whose stretch pass just missing Garrett Van Wy, but he gets to it and negates the icing. Van Wy plowed into the glass by Joffrey Salau. Lem knocks it loose, but to Paisan. Paisan shoots, blocked in front by Lem, and it goes up and out of play. We get our first whistle of the second period. In to the frame, 19:08 remains here in the second period of Wildcats hockey, presented by American Classifieds. The score 3-1 in favor of Wichita Falls as they get set to go to work here on a 5-on-3 power play. Now, Joffrey Salau joins Qua Evingson. Kenai River penalty box. It's going to be boarding against the Florida native, Joffrey Salau. So two of the Kenai River Brown Bears defensemen are in the box. So the Cats looking to put this game nearly out of reach here on the 5-on-3. Cross-ice pass, and it didn't take long. Andre Paisan was right there with his stick on the ice and was the beneficiary of a beautiful pass from Nikita Litviak at the goal line. And the Cats come through once again on the Jim Arnold Collision power play. It's 4-1. Andre Paisan scoring his second goal with the Cats. Both of the goals he has scored this season have come off of beautiful passes from Nikita Litviak. The first, of course, was in Game 2 against the Topeka Roadrunners, in which Litviak outworked his opponent in behind the Topeka net and centered a beautiful pass for Paisan, who was right there to backhand it beyond the goaltender Johnson at the time. Now at the goal line, Andre Paisan has it. Passed it into Litviak's corner, guides it on back to Rounds. His pass missing Litviak, but he regains control behind the Kenai net. Litviak having a look, goes back to the near point for Rounds. Walks the blue line, returns. Litviak near circle. Rounds high slot. Will he shoot? No. Litviak's one-timer redirected there by Paisan and wide. Picked up by Austin Bolio. Given back to Michael Rounds. Bolio has it. Litviak backdoor. He shoots! That one is stopped. What a save made in goal by Nick Nast. Of a shot from the Russian forward Nikita Litviak, and Nick Nast somehow kept it out. Adam Goodsir is back out there. He's still looking for his hat trick. He scored 2 goals in the first period, the first 2 goals of the game for the Cats. Knocked loose by Reisinger and given back to him from Jacob Dalton, who couldn't keep the puck alive at the blue line. He has to hustle back as he feels the pressure coming from behind. Dalton. Oh, look out. It was knocked loose and into the goal. The Brown Bears believe it was in, but the officials saying it was not. Dalton had the puck and skated it dangerously right in front of Kapelmaster, and it was jarred free by Joffrey Fasiga. Brown Bears protesting. They thought it was in. No signal from the official. For a defensive zone face-off for the Cats. You got to take the draw. Just swiped at it right off the face-off. Picked up by Ben Lown. Passed one on Reisinger's tape. Reisinger with a full head of steam, sent one into the middle. Lazarus couldn't pull the trigger. Reisinger's pass was intercepted and sent back the other way, all the way down the ice from the Kenai River Brown Bears as time slowly winds down here on this Jim Arnold Collision power play. But we get another whistle. What have we here? Altner just lost sight of the puck because there was no penalty. There was No net being knocked loose. There was no high stick. There was nothing. Rosa taking the draw. Butcher shot one on goal. Pad save Kappelmaster. Picked up behind the Wildcats net by Rourke Russell. He's got a dozen seconds to go on this Jim-owned collision power play, the likes of which the Cats have been perfect thus far this evening, but it looks like that will be coming to an end as Albrecht works it behind the Kenai goal. A backhand saucer pass back to the far point. This way for Russell. Both teams at full strength. Here's a shot. Pad save Nast. Rebound Rosa. Stopped by Nast again, and he holds on. Take the draw once again. He lost it this time. It was Joey Sardina who won it. Fired rink wide. Austin Albrecht has it. Dropped it off. Parker mismatch. Far circle. Walks in. Shoots. Soaked up by Nick Nast, who's made another save against the Wildcats. Garrett Van Wy's line now. Nick Nast has made 16 stops on the Cats this evening. He has faced 20, which is more than half, or more than double, I should say, of the amount of shots Kappelmaster has faced in 8. It's floated all the way down the ice. Good hustle from Cameron Cook to avoid an icing call against Geoffrey Salau, but the Cats get it right back out of their own zone pretty quick. Paisan gains the Kenai line, dropped off for Bolio, who couldn't pull the trigger. Looks, goes to the back. Noah Gilreath, Jacob Dalton, near circle, in front, they score! What a pass from Jacob Dalton to Garrett Van Wy, and the Cats have turned this one into a blowout. It's 5-1 Wichita Falls. Van Wy scores his first goal as a Wildcat. Kenai's struggles continue here. He did not have a tremendous season last year, and they are off to a very poor start this year. The Kenai River Brown Bears and the Wichita Falls Wildcats really outplaying them up to this point in the game. Other than the first 36 seconds, ever since that point, it has been all Wildcats. As the linesman Esterly believes that the puck was played with a hand pass, so he blows the whistle and stops play. 15:49 to go here in the second period. Brought to you by American Classifieds. 5-1 your score in favor of the Wichita Falls Wildcats. Adam Goodsir lines up across Adam Kressel, and Goodsir won it all the way back into the Wichita Falls zone. Goodsir with an opportunity to earn his first North American Hockey League hat trick in this game. He's already got 2 of the 3 goals. But the Kenai River Brown Bears have an odd man rush. It's a 3-on-2. Salau, far circle, takes the shot. Blocked by Hines, picked up by Lown. He's got a man in Goodsir, and he finds him. Goodsir down the near wing, puts on the brakes and fires. Blocked out in front by Geoffrey Fasiga. Played in behind the net. Check that. It is Samuel Carlson. His launch pass was redirected by Rounds and on net. And Kappelmaster covers up as he saw Gunnar Goodmanson right there in his kitchen. 15:10 to go here in the second period on Rink 2 at the Schwann Super Rink in Blaine, Minnesota. Day 3 of your showcase between the Wichita Falls Wildcats and the Kenai River Brown Bears. The Cats leading the Bears by a score of 5-1. Michael Rounds banks it off the boards and out into the neutral zone. Lazarus finding Eric Yeager, who kicked it to his stick. Yeager passed one into the far corner, gets it back. Russell's blast, fought off by the shoulder, jumps into the air, it's loose, and they score! Incredible hand-eye coordination displayed there by Max Reisinger, who waited for the puck for about 3 seconds in the blue paint. It popped up into the air, bounced down off the blue ice, and Max Reisinger backhanded it in behind the goaltender Nick Nast, who is mercifully being pulled out of his crease now as he gets a sympathetic bump there from Brian Baker. Reisinger scores his second goal of the year. Cats have the puck in their own zone. Rounds takes a whack at it. Gessert fanned on the shot. A long shot blocked out in front, corralled by Jonathan Lazarus. Fed it to the left side for Max Reisinger, who turns and spins. He finds Rourke Russell, who's run into there by Jack Nichols. Puck bounces off the side of the Kenai net. Here come the Bears. Jack Gessert dumps it into an empty corner. Michael Rounds will be first to it. Oh, he's run into there by Gunnar Goodmanson, who got right back up to his skates at the last second before slamming into the corner boards. Parker mismatch, guys one in front. It trickles on net. Stopped there by Brian Baker, and he holds on, his first stop of the night. Baker has been one of the few bright spots on a struggling Kenai team up to this point in the season. As was mentioned earlier in the broadcast, he earned the Midwest Division's Player of the Week, or first star of the week, I should say, for his incredible performance in Janesville, getting his team into overtime and winning the game, stopping 37 of the 40 shots that he faced, most of which were very high-quality shots. Picked up by Fasiga and brought down the far side. A very weak shot is stopped easily by Kappelmaster. Down goes Mismatch, kept in there by Sardina. Played in behind the net for Fasiga. He has to turn away from Dalton, who pins into the boards. Loose puck picked up there by Noah Gilreath, who looks to spring Mismatch down the near wing. Parker Mismatch fed one rink wide off the far half boards into the Kenai zone. A long shot blocked in front. Mismatch shoots. What a save there by Brian Baker. Mismatch had a grade A scoring opportunity, point blank. Nick Rosa for Mismatch. Batted away. The Cats maintained possession in the Kenai River zone. Nick Rosa kicked it to his defenseman Gilreath, who played it into the near corner. Picked up by Lem, however, of Kenai, who skates it out of harm's way. Clears it on net, and Kappelmaster has to cover because he wasn't quite sure of its whereabouts. Only 7 minutes have expired here in our second period, and this game has gotten out of hand before the midway point of regulation time. It's 6-1 in favor of Wichita Falls. An extensive line change being carried out by both teams. Evan Butcher's line is out there to take the draw against Goodsir's line. And it looks like Parker Mismatch has gone to the penalty box for hooking. As the Brown Bears go to their fourth opportunity with a man advantage. And we'll see if they can slowly but surely claw their way back into this game. Fired down the far wing and intercepted by Demantis Sipus, who made a good read on the play. Sipus killing a bit of time and shooting it in behind the Kenai River Brown Bear net. Qua Evingson passed it out to neutral ice. Joey Sardina jarred it free. Deep in Wildcat territory. Rounds slams it around the boards, but not out. Held in far point by Jack Nichols. Got it in behind there, and a hit from behind from Michael Rounds against Samuel Carlson. Did not constitute a penalty. So play continues. The puck has been shot all the way down into the Kenai zone. Qua Evingson's got it for Jack Nichols. Out to center, intercepted by Nikita Litviak. He turns and guides it on back to his defenseman Michael Rounds. Rourke Russell skyhooks one all the way down. The Brown Bears have really done nothing with their man advantage this afternoon. Goodmanson in the neutral zone across the Wichita Falls line. Offside is ruled to be the call against the Brown Bears. It looked like Goodmanson was a bit too eager on the play. 11.5 minutes remain here. Half a minute remains on this Wichita Falls penalty kill. Your Cats are leading the Brown Bears by a score of 6-1. Rosa being kicked from the face-off circle and stepping right back in. But the Brown Bears won the draw. Thomas Keene with a rink-wide pass. Read and picked off by Rosa, who fires it back in. Thomas Keene is back. Time for one last rush on this Brown Bear power play. Jason Lem finding Keene down the far wing. Gains the blue line, I should say. Chases his own dump in. Runs into Jacob Dalton. Jarred loose. Nick Rosa tried to clear. Kept in there in the deep slot. Here's a wrist shot soaked up by Kappelmaster, and he holds on. No rebound. And the Brown Bears just running into Kappelmaster's crease there, and the Cats not liking it one bit. Jack Gessert is receiving a penalty for his antics there. After Kappelmaster had made the save, it appeared Jack Gessert crashed the crease and gotten a slash or two in on Kappelmaster, and the officials not having any bit of that. So the Cats go back to their fifth man advantage, or fourth I should say. They're 2 for 3 on the night. Eric Yeager turns, has Rourke Russell, gives it to him. Russell's pass to the near circle. Litviak cross-ice pass. Bolio looking, can't find a shooting lane, so he turns away. He's got Litviak backdoor. Russell in the deep slot. Pies onto the front of the net. Here's Russell, has to turn away. Good backhand pass to keep it alive. Litviak skates it down the boards. Has it at the goal line now. Feeding Rourke Russell. Returning for Litviak. Litviak back to Russell. Deep slot. Hammers a shot. Blocked out in front. Litviak's got to hurry this way to keep the puck alive, and he does. Litviak into the corner. Pies on. Fakes a slap shot. Goes to the back. Bolio's touch pass on the tape for Rourke Russell, who spins it in behind the Kenai River net. Picked up by Eric Yeager. Yeager for Litviak in front. Bolio's one-timer. That one would not go. Bolio is tied up there from behind by Jeffrey Fasega. Has a one-time blast from Litviak. Skitters just wide. The Bears trying desperately to get this puck out. The Cats still have 55 seconds on the power play, but the Bears finally get it all the way down as they are able to make a partial line change. A diving effort by Kressel did not pay off. Russell springs Ben Lown across the Bears line. Ben Lown goes wide on the tired Kenai defense. Shields off a couple of Kenai Brown Bears. Guides it on back to Jacob Dalton. Jonathan Lazarus with his head up, looking to reverse the pass as the Cats cycle the wagons. Dalton deep slot, fed one goal line, touch pass Van Wy, cross-ice pass, one-timer from Lown, and that one is partially blocked out in front. Onto Van Wy's tape. Jacob Dalton, Ben Lown shoots, he fanned on it, it trickles on goal. Baker made the save, and the Bears are finally able to clear as the Cats had several great looks on that last man advantage. But it appears they will drop to 2 and 4 on the Jim Arnold Collision power play, as they fail to convert despite a number of good scoring opportunities. Good serve, slid it through the blue paint and wide. Dalton keeps the puck alive. Reisinger shot one that trickles wide of the goal. Lazarus jars it loose. Fell. As the Brown Bears end up with it once more. Out into the Cat zone it goes. Joey Sardina pinning Van Wy to the end boards. Comes loose. Brown Bears maintaining control. Sent back to the point. Here's Jeffrey Salau. He shoots. Blocked in front by Reisinger. And the Bears gunning it down now. Cats making a partial line change. Salau out to center. Played further there by Sardina. Sardina protects the puck in behind the Cats net. Puck bounces in behind the Wichita Falls net. Sipus for mismatch. Ahead through the middle of the ice there on the tape for Austin Albrecht. Albrecht dumps it in behind the Kenai River net. Puck bounces back towards the point. Sipus keeps it alive behind the Brown Bear net. Albrecht getting to it first. Played it in behind once more. Parker mismatch, has to turn away from a check, and Joffrey Salau who took it away. Rosa rescues it. Sipus shot it. Goes wide on the near side. Albrecht gets to it. Cats with a good offensive zone surge here in the Kenai zone, as Rosa's line has been dominant out here for the last minute or so. Parker mismatch, rams a man into the boards there, and Salau and mismatch battling for it. Rosa helping mismatch out. Finally the Cats come up with it. Sipus cross ice there for Hines with a D-to-D pass. His shot redirected wide of the goal. Stolen there. Rosa put it in front, intercepted. And the Bears are finally able to get this puck out as it bounces into the neutral zone. Whacked at there. Goodmanson, he shot one. Good block there by Matt Hines, who got his stick in the shooting lane. Hines trying to take the puck away from Goodmanson, but Goodmanson won it. Backhand pass to the point. Salau's shot redirected off the side of the net. Goodmanson has it now. Running with it is Joey Sardina. Back to the point. Spetz, he shot one. Blocked out in front. Picked up by Mismash. Mismash trying to spring Van Wy, but he couldn't due to a good stick check there by Spetz. Mismash's pass picked off in the deep slot. Rounds having a blowout, but the Wichita Falls Wildcats go back to the man advantage here. Thomas Bow is being escorted to the Kenai River penalty box. The Cats now have their fifth opportunity on the Jim Arnold Collision power play, the likes of which they are 2 for 4 on the night thus far. Cats win the draw. Bolio is pinned to the boards there by Qua Eddingson. Puck comes free. Out to center. Rourke Russell hacks at it on a delayed offside. Yeager decides to just let it go. Eddingson being instructed by his captain, Jack Gessert, to do a D-to-D pass, and that's what he did. Rourke Russell, I should say, is back, defended by Jack Gessert. Gessert displaying his leadership skills on the penalty kill here for Kenai River, and offside is ruled to be the call against him, however. He hops into the Kenai River bench. 5:49 remain here in the second period of hockey here, presented by American Classifieds. Your Wichita Falls Wildcats have dominated ever since the first minute of the game. After trailing by 1, they have scored 6 unanswered goals. And they've all but put this game out of reach for the struggling Kenai River Brown Bears. Here's Fasiga in his own end. Puck dumped on net. Kappelmaster left it. A minute 18 remains on this Jim Arnold Collision power play, their 5th of the night for the Cats. Ben Lown has it in his own end. Floats a pass onto Goodser's tape. It was a bit beyond his reach, however. Goodser has to turn and find Michael Rounds at the near point. Rounds walks the blue line. Goodser's one-timer, blocked in front by Spetz. Rolls in behind the net, corralled by Lazarus. Slams on the break, and the puck comes loose. Lown rescuing the puck at the far point, but the River Brown Bears are finally able to clear all the way down into the Cat zone, and it's a chance for Kressel. He's in. Pad save by Kappelmaster. What a stop by Kappelmaster, who kicked out the right pad and just robbed the Kenai River Brown Bears on that attempt from Adam Kressel. Jonathan Lazarus dumps it back to Michael Rounds. Rounds' pass on Lowndes' tape here. Austin Albrecht springing Max Reisinger across the Kenai line. He passed one that redirected wide of the net, picked up by Lown. Time winds down on the power play. The Cats have 12 seconds. Lown, deep slot, fires into the glove of Brian Baker, and he holds on. 9 seconds remain on the Jim Arnold Collision power play. The Cats are 2 for 4 on the night, trying to make it 3 for 5. We've got less than 10 seconds to do so as Rosa is kicked from the face-off circle. And he's replaced by Austin Albrecht, the Cat veteran. And he won the draw. Jacob Dalton fires one, and a stick save is made in goal by Brian Baker. Corralled behind the net. Rosa centered. Mismatch shot it. Save Baker. Loose puck backhander from Dalton is blocked in front. And the Bears are back to full strength as they emphatically kill that Wichita Falls power play. Picked up there and fired into the Cat zone by Samuel Clarkson. Out to center. Nick Rosa gains the Kenai line. Steps in and shoots. Partially blocked. Rolls into the corner. Mismatch. The Cats cycle the wagons a bit, but Albrecht couldn't find Rosa in the slot. Puck bouncing out to center ice. Regained there by Austin Albrecht. He's onside. He's got mismatched with him, but he lost the puck. Trying to do one too many moves there. Lots of loose sticks out on the ice. Puck is fired out to center ice. Gessert had some trouble with it, courtesy of Jacob Dalton, who pinched in, but no harm was done as Gilraith is able to get it out to center. Ben Lown unable to sidestep Qua Evingston. Puck goes the other way. Dalton finding Goodsir. It's a 3-on-1 for the Cats. Goodsir, Lown, and Litviak. Lown looks for Goodsir, and the pass was a bit behind him. Picked up instead there by Jeffrey Salau, who clears it out to center for Kenai. Handcuffed is Jack Gessert, so Lown took it away. And another penalty is being called. We're awaiting the call here. Looks like it's going to be against Adam Goodsir. So the Brown Bears with a chance on their 5th man advantage of the night. Goodsir getting called for boarding on that last play. The Bears win the faceoff, but the pass back to the line was too hot to handle for Salau. It's picked up instead by Reisinger with a shorthanded chance. He steps in and shoots. That one blocked in front by Keene. Picked up in the near corner by Reisinger, who has to turn away from Keene. Reisinger with his head up. He's got Van Wy breaking on goal. Turns away from Keene. Switching there with Van Wy. Loose puck in front. Reisinger shot one. That's blocked, and the net has been dislodged, causing another whistle. Less than 3 minutes remain here in the second period of action on Rink 2 at the Schwann Super Rink in Blaine, Minnesota on day 3 of our 2015-16 showcase. In this game between the Wichita Falls Wildcats and the Kenai River Brown Bears, your score 6-1 in favor of the Wildcats, who have simply dominated this game ever since surrendering the first goal just 36 seconds in. The Cats have all but put this game out of reach for the Kenai River Brown Bears, who continue their struggles on the season. Rourke Russell clears the puck all the way down. Brian Baker left it behind the net. Jarred loose and picked up there by Jack Nichols. Out to center. Cross ice pass, 2-on-1. Kressel's got Fasiga with him. Kressel shoots, hit the post behind the net. Knocked aside by Kapelmaster. Back to the far point. Evingston now. Tried to send one rink wide. Kressel couldn't shoot. Back to the far point again. Evingston's got it from Nichols. Evingston for Fasiga in the circle. He shot one on goal. Stopped by Kapelmaster. 45 seconds to go here on the Brown Bears power play. Evingston, the recipient of a good pass. Into the corner there for Fasiga. Back to Evingston. His one-time drive is stopped by Kapelmaster. A turnaround pass goes all the way through the slot and wide. Delayed penalty upcoming against the Cats. 6 attackers on the ice for the Brown Bears. A pass to the middle. That one hit the post as well. Kressel hit the near post on a redirected shot. And finally, the whistle blows, and now the Brown Bears with a chance on a 5-on-3 power play. Their second opportunity with a 2-man advantage on the night. Michael Rounds being called for cross-checking on that last play. So he leaves the Cats short-handed. Only Andre Pizon, Matt Hines, and Demantis Sipus on the ice for Wichita Falls. Sipus blocks a shot, and then a pass attempt at the blue line from Thomas Keene, and the puck ends up into the Kenai bench, so we get a whistle. We'll see where this face-off lies, and the officials deeming it had not crossed the blue line, so it stays in the Cats zone. Andre Paisan, who we've seen logging quite a few penalty-killing minutes on LaFontaine's shorthanded units, is back out there once more, but he gets switched there in the circles with Matt Hines. Goodmanson won the draw, back to the far point. Qua Evingson's got it, into the corner. Back for Evingsson once more, Sardina rather. Salau, goal line, a stuff attempt, that one stopped by Kappelmaster. Sardina wants it, he gets it, he shoots, that one missed up high. Comes around the near boards. Beaulieu is out to join his shorthanded team. Salau, goal line pass. Jack Gessert tried to stuff it home, no luck. Kappelmaster had the pads down, and he covers up. And now another net mouth scramble ensuing post whistle. Beaulieu is being separated from a couple of Brown Bears by the linesman Esterly. Boy, it looks like Austin Beaulieu could be in a bit of trouble here, folks. He's being escorted off the ice by Esterly, the linesman. Sort of major penalty against the Cats star left winger Austin Beaulieu. John LaFontaine now at the edge of the bench, demanding an explanation from the officials here. The officials now explaining things to John LaFontaine. See on your screen now, LaFontaine getting an explanation from the referee Altner. And you can tell by his body language he's not happy with the decision. See exactly what happened with Austin Beaulieu, but he found himself in the midst of a net mouth scramble after Kappelmaster made a good point blank save on the Brown Bears' leading scorer in Jack Gessert. And it looks like it's going to be a 4-minute double minor. And Austin Beaulieu has been ejected from this game. He received a double minor and a game ejection for spearing. And the backdoor shot goes in right away. Fasiga buries the puck past a sprawling Kappelmaster, and the Brown Bears have scored their second goal of the afternoon. It's now 6-2 Wichita Falls. The Bears are right back into the Cat zone. Fasiga trying to take it away from Rounds. Puck ends up behind the Cats net. Dealt on back to the far point. Kept in by Nichols. Cats remain on this penalty kill for the next 3.5 minutes or so. Brought across the Wichita Falls line. Jack Gessert is tripped. No penalty upcoming. Ben Lowndes got it. A 2-on-2 develops here with Litviak. Michael Rounds, the late man. Ben Lown puts on the brakes in the slot. Doesn't have anywhere to go. He was surrounded by brown jerseys. Somehow he gets it back and he scores! Ben Lown with an incredible shot from the near circle. A buzzer beater from number 7 in white. And Ben Lown has scored his first goal as a Wildcat. And will this count is the question. The players acting as if it will. Lown gets a number of fist bumps and congratulatory gestures from his teammates. The goal has counted. The goal stands 7-2. Now the score in favor of the Wichita Falls Wildcats going into the third period. A shorthanded goal by Ben Lown, his first as a Wildcat. The Cats have regained a 5-goal lead. Don't go too far, folks. We're going to have updates from around the league and a second intermission report when we come back. And to our YouTube listeners, we apologize for any technical difficulties you may have experienced with the broadcast. Internet connection fried out for a couple of seconds there, but we've got it back up and running. But again, don't go too far. We'll be back in just a few minutes, fans. Welcome back to our broadcast, fans. We hope you've enjoyed the broadcast up until this point. If you're a Wichita Falls Cats fan, you certainly have, as your Wildcats are out in front by a massive margin. They lead the Kenai River Brown Bears by a score of 7-2 here on Rink 2 at the Schwann Super Rink in Blaine, Minnesota, on Game 3 of a 4-game series and a 4-game journey that the Cats are nearly 3/4 of the way from completing here. Tomorrow morning's game, of course, will conclude their experience here in Blaine, Minnesota, which has been a good one so far. They won their first 2 games against Minot and Cooley Region and will win this 3rd game against the Kenai River Brown Bears. And they will play the New Jersey Titans tomorrow morning, who are undefeated in their showcase thus far at 3-0, having just defeated the Topeka Roadrunners earlier this afternoon, I should say. To recap the game for you up to this point, Kenai River actually opened the scoring just 36 seconds into the game. Jack Nichols took a long point shot that I'm not sure Capelmaster might have gotten a piece of it, but it jumped loose into the slot, and Cameron Cook was right there to jam it through the 5-hole of Capelmaster and open the scoring. And it took less than 5 minutes for the Cats to respond, as Adam Goodsir, Ben Lown, and Nikita Litviak found themselves on a 3-on-1. Lown dished an extremely nice pass to Goodsir, who made no mistake and took a beautiful shot from the left circle and beat the goaltender Nick Nast high on the stick side. Not really a whole lot of room on the blocker side, and Goodsir made no mistake. He buries it just over the blocker and into the top corner of the net. The next goal was also scored by Adam Goodsir, who was the recipient of a beautiful pass from Max Reisinger, the longest tenured Wildcat. That goal, coming on the Jim Arnold collision power play, was Goodsir's 5th of the season, which leads the team by a sizable margin. The 3rd goal the Cats scored was from Nikita Litviak, who was set up by Ben Lown. So Lown just racking up the points for the Wichita Falls Wildcats. He had 5 assists going into this game, and well, now he's got 7 and a goal. The second period began with the Cats and the Kenai River Brown Bears on a 4-on-4. And just moments after the 4-on-4 had concluded, the Cats went to a short power play, and it didn't take a whole lot of time for them to convert on it. On their second man advantage of the night, they came through. Andre Paisan slid the puck past Nick Nast, who had no chance after an incredible pass made from the goal line by Nikita Litviak. That was Litviak's 2nd point on the night, and Paisan's 2nd goal as a Wildcat. His first also coming from an assist by Litviak in Game 2 in Topeka. So that made it 4-1. Then Garrett Van Wy scored for the Cats, scored his first goal, dressed in the red and black. Assists on that goal came from Jacob Dalton and Noah Gilraith, 2 defensemen. Then Max Reisinger scored a goal after the puck fluttered up in the air after Nick Nast made the initial stop. Must have gone at least 20 feet in the air, and it bounced in the blue paint, and Max Reisinger, displaying his incredible hand-eye coordination from his backhand, whacked the puck into an open goal and past a confused Nick Nast to give the Cats a 6-1 lead, and that would be the end for the Kenai River's backup goaltender, Nick Nast, who was replaced in favor of Brian Baker, who as was mentioned earlier, has been one of the few bright spots on a struggling Kenai River Brown Bear squad. Brian Baker came in and has played well up until this point. The 8th goal of the night was scored by Jeffrey Fasiga on a 5-on-3 power play. He received a backdoor pass and fired it right past Kappelmaster, who didn't have much of a chance there. Power play was, the 5-on-3 power play, I should say, was a result of 4-minute double minor and game ejection for spearing against Austin Beaulieu. Well, it'll be interesting to see how LaFontaine and Nelson go about the line juggling here without one of their top forwards in the lineup for the third period. And finally, at the very end of the second period, Ben Lown, who has been on fire, especially in the assist department, now with 7, has impressed us even more. He scored a shorthanded goal, has a seemingly impossible scoring opportunity, showed some light at the end of the tunnel, and Ben Lown reached it with a beautiful shot into the top corner, over the glove of Brian Baker. Really what's incredible, the most incredible thing about that goal is that most of Lown's teammates were in the midst of a line change. He was short-handed and he was going up against the entire Kenai River squad. 5 brown jerseys surrounded Lown, and somehow the puck found its way onto his tape into the slot. Lown, still, even after gaining that puck, did not have a whole lot of room to score, but made a perfect shot into the top corner of the net and gave the Cats a 7-2 lead, scoring his first goal as a Wichita Falls Wildcat and giving him his team-leading 8th point on the season. So that brings us to now. The Cats will re-enter the ice shorthanded. For the next 3 minutes or so, still having to kill the Austin Beaulieu spearing penalty, the double minor, and the game ejection. And as for a few updates from around the league, once again, Springfield defeated the Corpus Christi Ice Raids by a score of 3-1 earlier this morning. So Corpus Christi falling in the South Division standings. As they now drop to 2 and 3, and now occupy that 4th place spot behind the Topeka Roadrunners, who also lost their game earlier this afternoon on this very same rink at the hands of the New Jersey Titans, who the Cats will be facing off against tomorrow, which will be 2 teams that have been perfect in the showcase up to this point, squaring it off in Rink 4 tomorrow morning at 9:15. That's going to be a game you don't want to miss. The Lone Star Brahmas continue their fine play as they took down the Minnesota Wilderness, the defending Robertson Cup champions, by a score of 3-2 earlier today. The Brahmas improved to 3-0-1 on the year and are at the moment in sole possession of first place in the South Division, but that won't last for long as the Cats are just 1 point behind them, and they're going to go on to win this game. And they'll be doing that in the next half hour or so as the players get set to take the ice for a third period of hockey, brought to you by American Classifieds. Andre Paisan, Garrett Van Wy, Matt Hines, and Demantis Sipus take the ice for the Cats. Gunnar Goodmanson, Justin Beauchevet, Jack Gessert, Jack Nichols and Thomas Kane on the ice for the Kenai River Brown Bears, and your third period of Wildcats hockey presented by American Classifieds is underway as the Brown Bears sauce a pass ahead for Sardina. He's in, he shoots, pad save, Kapellmaster. Sardina just rammed into the end boards. Another penalty is coming up, and it's going to be against the Cats. Looks like it's going to be tripping against Demantis Sipus, or slashing rather, as Sipus now begins to skate to the Wichita Falls sin bin. Again, the Cats are shorthanded on a 5-on-3 power play for the third time tonight. They killed off one 5-on-3, but the last time there was a 5-on-3 against the Cats, Jeffrey Fasiga buried it past Kapellmaster to give the Bears their second goal of the afternoon. Good clear by Noah Gilraith to get the puck all the way down. Brian Baker, the goaltender, gave it up the middle. It's carried across the Cats line and dumped behind the net by Qua Ebbingson. Back to the far point. Nichols has it. Deep slot. Ebbingson. Nichols. Back for Ebbingson. In the slot. Fires a shot. Steered wide of the goal. The Bears rescue the puck, and Nichols, with a mishandle, has to regroup out at center ice. Nichols gains the blue line and drops it off for Cameron Cook. Puck flutters into the air. Glove down there by Ebbingson, but his pass was a bad one. Recorralled in the neutral zone by Cameron Cook. Fed over to Fasiga. Dalton knocked it off away from his stick. Cameron Cook gains the blue line now. Dropped a pass, and the Bears appearing out of sorts here on this 5-on-3 as Noah Gilreath fires it all the way down. 1 minute remains on this 5-on-3 power play for the Kenai River Brown Bears, and the Cats have done a superb job of keeping high-quality scoring chances away from their goaltender, Justin Kapellmaster. Another errant pass backfires as Goodsir skates it across the Kenai line and dumps it deep behind the Bears' net. Gunnar Goodmanson has it for Kenai. Passes it to himself and gains the Wichita Falls line. Puts on the brakes, goes on to the back. Walking the blue line is Jeffrey Salo. Sardina in behind the net now. Gunnar Goodmanson coming off the corner boards. Turns in the slot. Goal line pass. Jack Gessert doesn't have a shooting lane. He passes Sardina. Shot blocked in front. Loose puck. Another shot is stopped by Kapellmaster. Another save by Kapellmaster, who kicked out the pad. Back to the point. Beauchevet falling down there was Sardina, who couldn't get a shot away. Sardina gets it right back. Closed off there by Michael Rounds, who tries to clear, and he does. One of the Wichita Falls power penalties has concluded. Goal line pass now. Goodmanson can't shoot, and the Cats clear the puck all the way down. And the Kenai River Brown Bears fans are audibly frustrated here on rink 2. As the Cats are just 20 seconds away from killing another 5-on-3 power play. Puck now behind the Bears' net. Brought out through the neutral zone by Fasiga. Knocked off his stick beyond Kressel's reach for Jack Nichols. Fed one rink wide that hopped over Cameron Cook's tape. And the Cats have done it. They've killed off a very extended power play, in which the Bears really needed to convert if they wanted to have any sort of chance of coming back in this game, as Mismatch falls down. And the Cats regroup a bit now as Jacob Dalton has it in his own end. Fired a saucer pass off the boards, and it eluded Ben Lown, who skates to the bench for a line change. Here's Bow for Kenai River. Turned over, Rosa on the counterattack, dropped it off, Mismatch is in, Mismatch shoots, pad save by Baker, loose puck in front, they score! Nick Rosa picked it up after an egregious turnover by the goaltender Brian Baker, and the Cats make him pay. It's 8-2 Wichita Falls. Rosa has become the 7th Wildcat to score a goal tonight. His line is right back out there. Rosa's got his second goal as a Wildcat and his 3rd point on the year. Here's Lem. Through the middle. Jumped off the stick of Samuel Clarkson, who chases it down. Rourke Russell, his opposing number, turned it over behind the Cats' net. Dalton picks it up. Shoots it off the far half boards. Mismatch with a mishandle. And then Dalton took a man down there. Albrecht springing himself down the far half boards. Takes down Carlson in doing so. Turns. He's got the puck. He finds a man breaking down the middle in Nick Rosa, but it was not in his wheelhouse. That is Yeager, rather. A couple of touch passes are picked off. Lazarus tries to keep the puck in, but he couldn't. Sipus whacking at it. A long shot from center ice is stopped easily by Kappelmaster. Here's Matt Hines. Reverses the puck. Eric Yeager swung one cross ice. Jonathan Lazarus with his head up gains the blue line. Reisinger going to the net. The lead pass missing Reisinger's tape. The Bears trying to get this puck out. Pops behind the net. Charles Spetz shoots it all the way down into Wichita Falls ice. Demantis Sipus is back. Back around the boards. The Bears now with some offensive zone time. Spetz's drive, he scores! Charles Spetz let it rip from the deep slot, and it went right past Kappelmaster. No redirect or anything. It just was blown right past Kappelmaster, and the Bears have their third goal of the night, and they now trail 8-3. Incredible howitzer of a shot from the blue line by Charles Spetz, a New Jersey-born defenseman. Nikita Litviak picking up the puck in neutral ice. Gains the Kenai River blue line and backhands the puck in behind the Brown Bear net. Jarred loose for Garrett Van Wy. Gives it to Paisan. Van Wy is now handcuffed by a couple of Brown Bears. Litviak helping him move the puck. Finally, it's kicked loose. Paisan centers. Litviak fans. Rounds shoots. That one blocked in front by Cook. Rounds has to hustle, but he fails to keep the puck alive on a delayed offside, and it's played by Cameron Cook of the Kenai River Brown Bears. He gains the blue line. Lost it. Picked up by Litviak, who looks to make a counterattack. His pass missing Ben Lown. Icing will be the result here against the Cats. 14 minutes remain in the third period. 8-3 your score in favor of the Wichita Falls Wildcats. Cats tasked with a defensive zone draw here. Golden opportunity was just missed as Litviak's pass eluded Ben Lown. Out in the neutral zone waiting for an outlet pass. The Cats will once again be without their star left winger, Austin Beaulieu, who got a 4-minute double minor and game ejection for spearing after a whistle. And now Michael Rounds is in the penalty box for Wichita Falls. Lots of penalties being taken by both teams, particularly the Cats tonight. Good puck movement here by the Brown Bears. In the far circle, dealt onto the back. Salau's drive, stick save, Kappelmaster. Loose puck in front. That one went off the crossbar. Off a great shot by Joey Sardina. Here's Sardina, he's got it now. Near point. Tried to feed one to the goal line. It deflected off a stick and popped in behind the net. Good patience here by the Kenai River Brown Bears. Sardina has it, fed it into the deep slot. Here's a shot, and that one just missed the net by Beaushaver. Comes around the near half board. Sardina keeps it alive, but a whistle has blown. And what have we here? The puck might have been played with a high stick. Gessert gets called for high sticking. Gessert, the leading scorer for the second time tonight, is in the Kenai River penalty box. So we go to some 4-on-4 hockey once again. Here's Matt Hines, far point, switching places with Yeager. Hines turns from Lem. Picked up by Nikita Litviak, who lost a handle on it. Lem trying to clear, and he's going to be able to. as he shoots the puck all the way down the ice into the Wildcat zone. Corralled by Adam Kressel, who has to turn away from Hines. Kressel without a whole lot of room back there behind the Cats' net, swinging it to the near point for Lem, sent over to the far point, and shot in behind the net. Another penalty is going to be called. And looks like it's going to be high sticking once again. Samuel Carlson, for Kenai River, guilty of high sticking. So the Cats now with a chance on the 4-on-3. Eric Yeager, Nikita Litviak, Matt Hines, and Rourke Russell on the ice for this man advantage. Lots of ice out there to work with. Rourke Russell for Matt Hines. Far circle, Rourke Russell, deep slot, backdoor attempt. Read and intercepted there partially by Jack Nichols. Cats regain control. Matt Hines, far point, walks into the deep slot. Rourke Russell, near circle, sent one cross ice that redirected off a Kenai River stick from Jack Nichols. Rourke Russell gets it back. Russell for Hines. He shoots. Blocker save made by Baker. Picked up by Hines. Given to Rourke Russell near point. Yeager near circle. Returns. Russell. Will he shoot? No. He passes. Hines. One-timer. Goes through the blue paint and wide. Comes around the boards. 5 seconds remain on the Wildcats penalty. So they will go to the 5-on-3 in a few seconds. A backdoor pass eluding the stick of Yeager, who hustles after it. And now the Cats are joined by Max Reisinger for a 5-on-3 for the next 30 seconds or so. Matt Hines with a shoulder shimmy, backdoor for Litviak. He moves in and shoots, and a save is made by Baker. As the Bears clear all the Cats away from their star goaltender, Brian Baker. Only 2 goals have been scored on Baker tonight. And they came from Ben Lown off a perfect shot, and Nick Rosa off an ill-advised pass from the Kenai River goaltender. And are we getting another penalty here? Yes, we are. Max Reisinger being sent to the Wichita Falls penalty box. And folks, I've about lost count of how many power plays have been given to each team. Reisinger is the culprit of a slashing penalty, it appears. Ben Lown skates across the Kenai line. He's onside. He goes wide there on Evans. It pops up in behind the net. Evan Butcher, rather. Adam Goodser one-hands the puck back to Garrett Van Wy. Jacob Dalton shoots. Stick save. Loose puck in front. Kicked every which way. Finally picked up there by the Kenai River Brown Bears, who skated out of harm's way. Joey Sardina gaining the blue line. Sardina shoots, goes wide on the blocker side. Held in far point by the Kenai River Brown Bears. Guided in behind the net. Jacob Dalton's going to be first to it. Will he be able to clear? No, he will not. The Brown Bears keep up the pressure in the Wichita Falls zone. They're in the midst of a change, however, so the Cats are able to escape with it. Adam Goodser flying down the left wing. Good toe drag move. He shoots, and that one off the crossbar. Picked up there by Jonathan Lazarus, who will play a little keep away here. And why not? The Cats have 10 minutes to just let this game come to its end. They lead by 5 goals in the third period on Rink 2 at the Schwann Super Rink in Blaine, Minnesota. 8-3 your score in favor of the Wichita Falls Wildcats. I'm Alex Weinkoitel, thanking you all for listening and viewing our game on YouTube and Fast Hockey on the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Bo Shaver in the Wichita Falls zone, played it in behind the Cats net. Demantis Sipus has it. Turned over at the far point. Got it into the far corner. Bo Shaver's got it there. He's got Gessert parked in front of the Cats net. Salau fakes. Sardina's got it. Into the middle. Gessert fires, goes wide. A backhand pass between the legs. A good idea there from Salau, but it was read and intercepted by a clever Justin Kappelmaster. Very calm, cool, and collected goaltender, as Cats head coach John LaFontaine described him. Going over some of the video from the game against Minot, it appeared any time the Minotauros had a whole bunch of net front presence, and no matter how big the scramble was in front of Kapellmaster, he just appeared as calm as ever. And that's been his demeanor since arriving here in Wichita Falls after having just been cut from the Tri-City Storm of the United States Hockey League. Garrett Van Wy steps in to take this offensive zone draw against Adam Krussel in the Kenai River zone. Finally, both teams are at full strength. Not sure we've seen that once this entire period. Van Wy for Parker Mismash. Steps around Eddingson. Deals it on back to Michael Rounds, who shot one into the glove of Brian Baker. Rounds' parents in attendance tonight here at Rink 2. They made the commute from Mount Pleasant, Michigan to see their son Michael play. A very young and savvy defenseman for the Wildcats. Michael Rounds guides it in behind the Kenai net. Puck is cleared beyond Rounds' reach. Look out, there goes Sardina down the near wing. Sardina steps around a diving Rourke Russell. Sprawling is Kapellmaster, and as a result, the Kenai River Brown Bears have scored, but the official is blowing it off, saying the net was dislodged. This has made the Brown Bear fans furious. Joey Sardina made an incredible play to wait out Rourke Russell and then to get Kapellmaster to go down. Boy, it just seems like that net has been knocked loose on so many occasions here tonight. If I'm a part of the Brown Bears fan base or the personnel in any way, shape, or form, I'm as furious as they are. Understanding their frustration here. But rules are rules, and the official Altner cannot allow that goal because the net had been dislodged, and they say it was unintentional, so no penalty called against the Cats. The puck is chopped out to the neutral zone. Thomas Keene has it. Eddingson. Here's Sardina down the near wing. The leading Gilraith, Keene. D-to-D pass. Charles Spetz was calling for it. Shot it wide intentionally. Behind the net now. It's picked up by Evan Butcher. Reverses a pass for Joey Sardina. Sardina now on his off wing. Had it knocked off his stick there by Andre Paisan alertly, who guides it on back to his defenseman Jacob Dalton. Dalton once again with a dangerous play in front of his own goal. Turns the puck over. Whacked out to the blue line, but not out. Kept in by the Brown Bears. Paisan jostling for it. Reisinger hustles back on the back check. Knocked free. The Brown Bears regain control. Here's a shot soaked up by Kapellmaster, who just stopped Gunnar Goodmanson from the deep slot. 8 minutes and 5 seconds tick off the clock here in a one-sided affair that sees your Wichita Falls Wildcats on top of the Kenai River Brown Bears by a score of 8-3 here at Rink 2 at the Schwann Super Rink in day 3 of our 2015-16 showcase. Sipus along the far corner boards. Ben Lown picks up the loose puck. Guides a pass ahead that was beyond Goodsir's reach. Won't say that very often. He's 6'2", and uses every inch of it to make a lot of decent plays that many players can't. Puck has been iced in behind the Wildcats net, but the officials holding on to their whistles. Ben Lown. Cross-ice pass on Litviak's tape. He's got Goodsir going to the net. Litviak fires into the glove of Brian Baker, and no further play. 7.5 to go here on Rink 2 at the Schwann Super Rink in Blaine, Minnesota. Game 3 of your annual showcase. 8-3 your score in favor of your Wichita Falls Wildcats. Van Wy is back out there. His line has all but disintegrated here, as Austin Bolio is unavailable for the remainder of this game due to a game ejection from the double minor spearing penalty. As Adam Kressel banks it off the end boards in the Kenai zone. The Brown Bears fail to clear. Hines with a good pinch and a good read to keep the puck alive momentarily, but Kenai's back out of their own zone. Lazarus intercepting, then turning it over. It's fired in behind the Cats' net. Kapelmaster plays it on the dump in from Claw Evingston. Hines' pass into the middle. Lazarus has it. Could be a 3-on-2. Van Wy took it right from Lazarus. Sauced one through the blue paint and wide of the goal. Mismatch is going to get to it first. And he's tied up from Evan Butcher. Mismatch comes up with it, but a mishandle results in Butcher playing it further. Van Wy jars it free. Lazarus turns, looks. He's got Russell, but he goes to the far point instead. Beautifully passed on to Rounds' tape. Van Wy comes together with a couple of Brown Bears there in the corner. Qua Evingston using every inch of his 6'5" frame to outmuscle the Wildcats in the far corner. Rourke Russell jumps in, keeps the puck alive. Cats have nearly completed their line change while maintaining offensive zone possession, as Rosa has it in front of the Kenai net, but he lost a handle, couldn't get a clean shot away, and Brian Baker holds on. 6 minutes and 6 seconds remain here in this game on day 3 of the 2015-16 showcase. 8-3 is your score in favor of the Wichita Falls Wildcats, who have dominated this game ever since the second minute of the first period. They conceded the first goal. Of course, to Cameron Cook, but have been rock solid ever since. Rourke Russell. A little deception on the forechecking Sardina. Nick Rosa's pass, a bit too far for Reisinger, who has to gun it down. Poked away momentarily by Keene. What a pass from Reisinger to Rosa, but his pass goes through the slot. Eventually onto Rourke Russell's tape, who once again pinches in aggressively. We've seen that quite a bit from Rourke Russell here tonight. Michael Rounds. Rourke Russell near point. Looks for a shot. He takes the shot, and that one redirected wide by a Kenai skate. Reisinger lost it. Albrecht got it. Rosa tried to shoot, returns the pass. Reisinger had it stolen away from him. Good defensive back check by Cameron Cook, who skates it back the other way across the Wichita Falls line. Tries a toe drag around Gilreath, no luck. Gilreath picks it up, finds Austin Albrecht, the New Jersey native, through the middle, finding Nick Rosa, the Birmingham, Michigan native, across the Kenai River blue line. Lost it in behind the net. Jack Gessert with a backhand pass on the tape there for Gunnar Goodmanson, who dumps it into a vacant corner. Andre Paisan one-hands it, but it's turned over to Kenai. Behind the net with it is Jack Gessert, the Brown Bears' leading scorer, but it was knocked free there by a responsible defensive play by Andre Paisan, and out it goes the other way. Lown gunning it down. Before he could get to it, Jason Lem had knocked it loose. Lem springing Boshaver. Justin Boshaver gaining the Wichita Falls line. Deep in the Cat zone, fed it in behind the net of Kapelmaster. Jack Gessert wanting a penalty there for interference against Jacob Dalton, but he's not going to get one. Jack Nichols mishandling the puck. Paisan trying to take advantage. He might be able to. Here's Ben Lown into the slot. Fed it for Yeager, but it was at his skate, so he couldn't get a shot away. Yeager is mauled from behind there by Samuel Clarkson, but no penalty, as Nichols fires it down the far wing. Jacob Dalton regaining control. Eric Yeager's got it as we enter the waning moments here of the third period. And slowly come to the end of a very one-sided affair between the Wildcats and the Kenai River Brown Bears, whose woeful season will continue here as the Cats have dominated them from nearly start to finish in this game. 8-3 is your score. As Evan Butcher has the puck now. Fasiga's got it, aided by Butcher behind the Cats' net. Officials don't want to blow this whistle here with this game all but decided. Picked up by Cameron Cook, swung to the near point. Keene tried to fire it through a maze of players, no luck. Picked up by Litviak. Litviak skyhooks one into the Kenai River zone. Fired out into neutral ice. Cook with a good pass rink wide. Demantis Sipus riding a man into the boards there. And Jack Gessert, I believe. Check that, it was Joey Sardina, rather. Puck played out to center. Adam Goodser dumps it behind the Brown Bear net. Goodser going for a line change. Just over 2 minutes to go here in this lopsided affair. 8-3 your score in favor of the Wichita Falls Wildcats. Rourke Russell has it behind his own net. Puck comes loose and cleared out to center ice. Mismash having to hustle after it, but Len gets to it first. Mismash trying to recover. He dropped it off for Albrecht, who storms in across the Brown Bear line. Guides it on back to the point. Michael Rounds shot one, and that one redirected wide. And went off the near corner boards. Van Wy for Parker Mismash. Banked it off the end boards. Albrecht centered. Van Wee couldn't get a shot away. And the Brown Bears are able to poke the puck ahead, but not out. Good keep by Rourke Russell, who collides with a couple of players in Goodmanson and Albrecht. But the Brown Bears are able to fire the puck all the way down. No icing. 95 seconds remain in this game. 8-3 your score in favor of the Wichita Falls Wildcats. Lazarus could have a 2-on-1, but offside is the call against the Cats as Reisinger was just a step ahead of the play. 90 seconds left to go on day 3 of a 4-game journey. That is the 2015-2016 showcase. And your Wichita Falls Wildcats now hold a commanding 8-3 lead over the Kenai River Brown Bears. And Rosa wins the draw. Jacob Dalton has it. Shoots it wide of Baker's net. Picked up by Jack Nichols. Guided across for Gunnar Goodmanson, who shot it around the end boards. Kapelmaster has it. Run into there by Fasiga, but no harm was done. Dalton lifted one onto Reisinger's tape. Reisinger fed it across the ice. Dalton dumps it in and goes for a line change. Less than a minute now remains in this game. Once again, 8-3 is your score in favor of Wichita Falls. 5 players battling for it here in the neutral zone along the boards. Parker Mismash has it. So the Cats now turn their attention to tomorrow morning's game at 9:15 a.m. A very different daily schedule for the Cats that they will have to acclimate themselves to, as they're going to be facing a very worthy adversary in the New Jersey Titans, who have not lost a game in the showcase thus far. They are 4-1 on the year, are the New Jersey Titans, and they're 3-0 in the showcase. So the Cats will now have identical records with the New Jersey Titans, and that will certainly be a game worth watching. If all of you listeners and viewers out there in the fast hockey and YouTube worlds can find it within yourselves and find the time tomorrow morning on your Saturday morning to watch some Wildcats hockey, and it'll promise to be a good game against the New Jersey Titans. But this game is now over. Day 3 has come to an end here for your Wichita Falls Wildcats and for the Kenai River Brown Bears. The Cats decisively defeating the Brown Bears by a score of 8-3. The largest margin by which the Cats have won this season. A close second being Game 2 against Topeka, in which they won 6-2. All in all, it was a phenomenal game for the Wildcats, and Coach LaFontaine has got to be excited about this win, going into a very big game tomorrow morning, I should say, against the New Jersey Titans. To recap this game for you as quickly as we can before we let you go, Kenai River actually opened the scoring in the first 36 seconds of the game. Cameron Cook buried the puck between the legs of Justin Kapelmaster. put his team on the board. It was the first time the Cats had trailed this entire showcase thus far, but they quickly answered with an Adam Goodsir tally, which he repeated just a few moments after that, scoring his 4th and 5th goals as a Wichita Falls Wildcat. So the Cats' youngest player now leads the team in goals with 5. Nikita Litviak would add a tally at the end of the first period to make it 3-1 going into the second. And after the 4-on-4 had come to an end early on in the second period, the Cats had a short power play and they took advantage right away, as Andre Paisan was the beneficiary of an extremely well-put pass by Nikita Litviak from the goal line. That made it 4-1. Garrett Van Wy also scored his first goal as a Wichita Falls Wildcat, making it 5-1. The assists on that goal going to Jacob Dalton and Noah Gilreath, a couple of blue liners. Max Reisinger would add a 6th tally for the Cats after the puck bounced about 20 feet in the air in the blue paint and landed right in front of a very bewildered goaltender in Nick Nast. It was unbeknownst to its whereabouts, but Max Reisinger was not, and he displayed his fine hand-eye coordination and buried the puck for the Cats' 6th goal, and that would be the end for Nick Nast, the Kenai River Brown Bears goaltender. He was replaced by Brian Baker, who played relatively well, stopping all but 2 shots. Fasiga would score next for the Kenai River Brown Bears off a 5-on-3 power play after Austin Bolio was ejected from the game for a double minor and game ejection for spearing. It's not something you hear about very often, especially with such a composed player in Austin Bolio. So obviously the Wildcats coaching staff not happy with that decision, but we believe Bolio will be available for tomorrow morning's game against the New Jersey Titans. Ben Lown would score a buzzer beater, short-handed, his first goal as a Wildcat, and it was the first time the Cats were able to solve Brian Baker on the night. He roofed one glove side on Baker with less than a second remaining in the period off a 1-on-5 short-handed rush. Ben Lown displaying his incredible hands and accurate shot. So he made it 7-2 going into the third period. Nick Rosa would add another goal to his credit, so he's got 2 on the year and his 3rd point after Brian Baker made an ill-advised pass from his own net. And the final tally of the night was scored by Charles Spetz, assisted by Justin Boshaver. It was a beautiful shot from the blue line from Charles Spetz, who cleanly beat Kappelmaster and just blew it right past him. And that was it in the scoring department. The Cats ended up defeating the Kenai River Brown Bears once again by a final score of 8-3. We'd like to thank you all for tuning in to our broadcast on fasthockey.com and on YouTube. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast, and we know you enjoyed the outcome. We hope to see you tomorrow morning at Rink 4 and on Game 4 of this 4-game series. That is the 2015-2016 Showcase. Both teams meeting tomorrow, the Cats and the New Jersey Titans, are perfect thus far in the annual showcase. They have both won all 3 of their games, so that promises to be an exciting battle, and we hope you take some time out of your Saturday morning to join us tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Time. Once again, fans, we really appreciate your support, and we hope to continue it tomorrow morning. On behalf of the Wichita Falls Wildcats, I'm Alex Von Coydel saying thank you and enjoy your Friday night.